what's up, y'all? Said the Entertainer. I want y'all to check out PIC TV Network. That's right, PIC TV Network. They got 60 free channels on Roku. This is dope. They also started the brand new Coaching World channel at $9.89. So if you are a content provider, you are a young business with an opportunity to build a platform where you can have your own show, do some programming, check out PIC TV Network on Roku. They got over 60 free channels for you to check out and also grow a business. Go and see them now. See the content. See what they have to do. Learn something. Check them out. All right? PIC TV Network. That's what I'm talking about.
We've all been hurt at some point, even abandoned. Many of us have done the hurting ourselves. We get to the point where we don't trust anyone, nor do we feel worthy of being loved by anyone. Then there's that one person who just doesn't give up on loving you. Their love is unconditional. Their love stays long enough for you to heal. And then they promise to never leave. That's love you can count on. God's love.
Hello, everybody. This is David Evans, President PIC TV Network. Listen, all of you watching around the world, I have a special presentation today on the network. I have some of the greatest preachers in the whole world. First of all, Bishop Lanier Twyman. How you doing, Doc?
Hey, how you doing, Doc Evans? How you doing? All is well on my end.
Man, I'm doing good. This is a historical night for the PIC TV Network because we're getting ready to bring on some special guests who I love, great preachers of the gospel, and we know Bishop Kelsey. Everybody loves Bishop Michael Kelsey today. How you doing, Bishop?
I'm doing fine, Dr. Evans. Good to be on.
Yes, sir. And then we also have the Bishop Brown, the miracle preacher right there, man. And we're excited. Bishop Twyman, there's a big event coming up, and I want you to tell everybody about this big event and to invite everybody to this big event. Come on.
Absolutely. Thank you, Dr. Evans. Hey, listen, all roads lead to the Gaylord for the 30th anniversary of the Full Gospel Baptist Church Fellowship International. I'm telling you, we're excited. It is going to be memorable. It's going to be epic. It's going to be powerful preaching, powerful singing, powerful teaching, powerful ministry, and great fellowship of the Full Gospel Baptist Church Fellowship at the Gaylord, July 5th through the 7th. I'm telling you, you need to be there.
Yeah, I know it's going to be amazing. You know, I love, the Full Gospel Baptist Fellowship. Bishop Kelsey, 30 years is a long time. And,
30 years is indeed a long time. And that's how long Full Gospel has been in existence. That's what we're celebrating. Next year, 30 years of ministry, of fellowship, of kingdom advancement, of impacting lives. And it was in 1992 that Bishop Morton approached Bishop Otis Floyd at the National Baptist Convention about what the Lord had placed on his heart concerning bridging the gap between Pentecostals and Baptists. And those meager beginnings is what God used, and the faith and vision of Bishop Paul Sylvester Morton. And 30 years later, Full Gospel is still thriving, serving, expanding, and impacting people for the glory of God. I'm excited to be a part of it.
Bishop Brown, when you come to the fellowships, and we always have a good time, man. I hug you for like 5 minutes, man, because we see each other and then we share that love. When people come to the DMV, they're coming from all across the country. I was over at the Gaylord today. I did some events over there. When they come into town, let these people know what they're going to get when they come to DC and to the conference.
Well, obviously, thank you, Dr. Evans and PIC TV for allowing us to come. And obviously, I give honor to our leadership here, Bishop Twyman and Bishop Kelsey, our spiritual leader, father, as it is in ministry. When you come to the DC area, as we refer to it here at Full Gospel Baptist Church Fellowship, the region, obviously the Mid-Atlantic region that shares the District of Columbia, Delaware, Maryland, and Pennsylvania, all will converge, as well the International Fellowship. When you come to Washington, D.C. area proper, to the harbor, to the Gaylord, you're going to be greeted with excellence. For that's how Full Gospel Baptist Church Fellowship operates, in excellence, the spirit of excellence, as Bishop Kelsey and Bishop Twyman have already alluded to. You're going to come and you're going to experience the power of God resting on you like never before. This is an opportunity that you don't want to pass up. You want to be in the place for the 30th year. It's a reunion time as well. Persons who started with our fellowship and the Lord has led them in different directions will come back and converge right here. And we're going to have an epic time together with power and the explosion of the Holy Spirit resting upon our people.
You know, Bishop Kelsey, you know, I wanted to ask you about the first time it's coming to DC. We've been in New Orleans, packed out 20,000 people. I remember when the first fellowship started, I was there. You were there on the stage with preachers all over the world. I remember one of our good friends, Bishop Noel Jones, he preached. Other great preachers came and preached. Talk about, Bishop Kelsey, this is coming to DC. This is history for the conference coming to DC. And some of the speakers are going to preach, Bishop Kelsey.
Well, you said it right, Dr. Evans. This is history. That's really the emphasis. This is history, and this is a family reunion. We have never come together like this in 30 years. We've never come to Washington, D.C. in the 30 years of our existence. So this, in fact, is history. It's history for a number of reasons. It's history because founding fathers whom God used to start this fellowship are also coming back. They're going to be coming from around the country. Bishop Carlos Malone, Bishop Kenneth Omer, Bishop Andy Luder. I started calling names. I don't want to leave. Bishop A.R. Williams, Bishop Larry Trotter, Bishop J.D. Wiley, co-founder Deborah Morton, of course, Bishop Paul S. Morton, founding fathers. That has never happened on this level before. We're going to open up that 6:40 or so on Wednesday with Voices of the Region, and that will be Bishop Edwin D. Brown, our state bishop of Washington, D.C., who's going to be our first voice from the region. That's called history. That's called never happened before. Pastor Diamond Gant, right from this area, from St. Stephen's, Bishop Lanier Twyman. She's going to be preaching on Thursday afternoon. A young woman, great preacher, and a daughter, a true daughter of the fellowship. She was a child coming up in the fellowship and now is doing great things. Of course, on Thursday night, our Founders Night, Bishop Paul S. Morton is going to be preaching, my spiritual father and pastor, and Bishop Twyman and Bishop Brown's spiritual grandfather and presiding bishop. And then Friday, you really don't want to miss, during the day at 10 o'clock a.m., this is history. This has never happened before. We have had Bishop T.D. Jakes as the night preacher, and he's known around the country as being the night preacher for conferences. He has never come to Full Gospel to do what he's doing. It's called Live Full X, mastering the intersections of ministry and marketplace. He's doing that on Friday morning at 10 o'clock. Never happened before. And then Bishop Walter Scott Thomas is going to be our preacher for the 11:30 a.m. service. And then we're doing something not only have we never done before, watch this, it has never been done before. And that is Full Gospel has developed a political agenda, a comprehensive political agenda. And we're having what we call the Caravan for Justice, where we are going through the leadership of Dr. Delman Coates. We are going to be boarding buses and traveling to various political leaders' offices, congresspersons' offices, Capitol Hill and otherwise, to hand deliver our political agenda. Never happened before with us, and it's never happened before for any Black Reformation on this level, and we're excited about it. And then lastly, Friday night, Founding Fathers moment is Bishop Greg Davis and Bishop Kenneth Robinson, two founding fathers as well, and Bishop Joseph W. Walker III, our international presiding bishop, will be bringing the final message Friday night at 7 o'clock. I really could easily go on and on and on, but you can just see you would want to be in the place.
You know, I think the beautiful thing about this fellowship, I know Bishop Twyman has been planning, and Bishop Kelsey, you've been planning, and it's good for the whole DMV. Bishop Twyman, talk about other denominations. We don't have to go down the line, but you got Pentecostals, Apostolic, you got friends, Bishop Demery, you got a lot of friends who are going to be coming from other denominations. Talk about the welcome spirit of other churches, other fellowships in the DMV, because that's welcome to come. It's not just for Full Gospel, but it's for everybody who want to come. Talk about that, Bishop Twyman.
Absolutely. Thank you, Dr. Evans. There's no doubt about it. When you think about the Full Gospel Baptist Church Fellowship, it is a fellowship, and everybody is welcome. Of course, the whole premise of Full Gospel being founded has to do with the charismatic. So it's really one of the mantras is Baptists have a right to choose. And I think that at the end of the day, Full Gospel has so many different denominations within Full Gospel. We've got Baptists, they're charismatics, there are non-denominational churches. And so absolutely, we look forward to welcoming and receiving brothers and sisters from all denominations who hold up the bloodstained banner of Jesus Christ being the way, the truth, and the life. So we look forward to it. Absolutely. I know that several of our friends and colleagues from the DMV area have already committed to being a part of it and sharing. Several of them are already registered who are not Baptists, who may be Pentecostal or non-denominational, and even AME. So we're really, really excited. Again, that's really what the kingdom is all about. We one Lord, one faith, and one baptism. So we're excited about it. Come one, come all. Let's all lift up the name of Jesus Christ together.
Bishop Brown, for the people who are coming to the DMV for the first time again, they're coming to the Gaylord Hotel. This is not no little Red Roof Inn. This is not a little hotel on the side of the road. Let the people know when you walk into the Gaylord, it's like going into the pearly gates. Bishop, tell them how beautiful this immaculate resort is. The Gaylord is not a hotel; it's a resort, and it's like a hotel with a mall. And I just hope the Saints don't get lost in there. So, Mr. Brown, tell them about the 5-star, beautiful place that they're going to come to at the Gaylord.
Well, Dr. Evans, you just stated it. It's 5-star. It goes along with the mantra of Full Gospel, doing things in excellence. And so having an excellent facility to facilitate opportunities, really allowing also everything to be done at one place. So once you come, and I believe if I could even encourage, if you are desirous of doing so and staying on property, I would check that registration right now, because once you're there, there's the whole one side of the entire Resort and Convention Center belongs to Full Gospel Baptist Church Fellowship. And so the movement and engagement there, obviously, I guess you call it like the pearly gates. Just a step below that, perhaps. but you're going to feel like what heaven must feel like as it relates to being in a five-star facility, which again gives space, opportunity, but allows us the opportunity to represent excellence to our God and to the world. Yeah. I think that's what Full Gospel seeks to do, is to represent a God who's excellent. And therefore the services, and not by accident, but by plan, by intentionality, we have come and we will converge. There are other things around, but nothing's going to be like the services and the opportunities for empowerment as they gather.
Yeah, I want to ask Bishop Kelsey before we go to a break. I've been knowing Bishop Kelsey almost 25 or 30 years. Bishop, you're a man of order, structure, time management. I remembered there was a funeral at your church, and the lady came in and said, "I want this done." And Bishop Kelsey said, "No, this is going to start like this, and it's going to end like this. And it started like that and ended like that, because that's the way you are, and I love you." I want to also ask you, Bishop Kelsey, for those who don't know, the spirit of Bishop Morton, the spirit of Bishop Walker, you've been in their presence. There's no egos. They hug you. They love you. They're not on a cloud. Talk about the spirit of leadership. Bishop Morton, you've been in his presence. Bishop Walker, that spirit of love. Come on, Bishop Kelsey.
Well, what I would say, Dr. Evans, is what fascinates me is that you can have two leaders who are very different and yet possess the same spirit. Yeah. Moses and Joshua were very different in terms of leadership style and assignment. But because their assignments came from the same God, then you saw the same spirit in both of them. That's how it is with Bishop Morton and Bishop Walker. Three things that come to my mind with regard to both of them. One is that they're spiritual men. They're spiritual men. Full Gospel is all about the Holy Spirit, all about the Holy Spirit, and they're spiritual men. Yes, they're businessmen. Yes, they're entrepreneurs. Yes, they're administrative geniuses, but they're spiritual men. Secondly, they are relational men. You mentioned, Dr. Evans, that they will greet you and hug you. They don't have to know you. You don't have to have a title and a collar and all that. That's because that's not their priority nor their focus. Their priority is people. Their focus is relationships. That's why Bishop Twyman said, we're a fellowship. We're a fellowship. We're not a business. We're not an organization. We're a fellowship that is spiritual and that is relational. And then thirdly, they are generous. And I mean that in every sense of the word. I have been blessed to be exposed to their level of generosity and their dimensions of generosity. Not only are they givers financially, unparalleled givers financially, but they give of themselves and they give of their talent and skill. They give of their expertise. We have been invited to both of their churches. When I say we, I'm talking about the whole fellowship, have been invited to both of their churches to see up close and personal. Now, how is this done? And how did you do it? And what might we learn to bring back and customize for our contextual assignments that would advance the kingdom of God? So that's what I would say about both of them, Dr. Evans. I thank God for them.
That's amazing. I want to ask the same question to Bishop Twyman. Bishop Walker just came for an event that you and Bishop Paul Morton did so many services with you. I want to ask you the same question, Bishop Twyman.
Yeah, absolutely. My spiritual father did a fantastic job in communicating the attributes of those two phenomenal leaders. I do want to reiterate, I think, the generosity primarily because they actually came to St. Stephen's on their own dime. Both of them paid a lot of times. That's really unheard of. People of their stature, when they're going places, you tend to have to cover the bill. But they came to St. Stephen's on their own dime and imparted to all of us, the fellowship in the Mid-Atlantic region. And it was a phenomenal time. So again, they're kind, approachable. I think that's so, of course, we're talking about national leaders in Bishop Morton, our founder, and our presider, Bishop Walker, but very personable. Of course, I got their cell phone numbers. That's major. I mean, how many?
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, how many other bishops and other reformations have the presider's telephone number? That's what it's all about. And I think that Bishop Walker, he shared when he took over, when the mantle was passed to Bishop Walker from Bishop Morton. He said something so profound in his presentation to us, the leaders. He said, relationship is the new currency. And I'll never forget that. And I think that it's so essential in the kingdom of God that all of us have to be relatable. All of us have to be touchable. And both of them, Bishop Walker and Bishop Morton, show that and it's genuine. It's not fake and forced, but it's genuine. It's authentic. And that's another one of the reasons why I'm connected to the Full Gospel Baptist Church Fellowship, because of relationship. No doubt about that.
Everybody, we're going to take a commercial break right quick. We're here on the PIC TV Network Special Presentation, and I have some of my great colleagues here and co-laborers in ministry, and I'm so happy again to be talking about the Full Gospel Baptist Fellowship coming to Washington, D.C. for the first time at the Gaylord Hotel, July the 5th through the 7th. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be 5-star. Bishop Kelsey already lined out how the program is going to go. He put a lot of time and effort into it. We're going to take a brief commercial break. We'll be right back after this.
Yes, you can achieve a college education right here in your own community. Harcum College's ACE program at the Deliverance Evangelistic Church offers associate degree programs that can help you land a good job and improve your quality of life.
I like Harcum and Debbie because I can continue my education.
The teachers are great. The atmosphere is great.
It's all possible through iLead and Harcum.
Call now or check out our Facebook page at Harcum College at Deliverance Evangelistic Church.
They say your eyes are the windows to the soul. They're also the windows to your health because they let eye doctors see what's going on inside. Think about this. A comprehensive eye exam can be an early detector of serious health problems like high blood pressure, heart disease, stroke, and diabetes. Shouldn't you see your eye doctor yearly? Go to thinkaboutyoureyes.com to learn more and for a list of local eye doctors. It could help save more than your vision.
Hey everybody, we're back here on the PIC TV Network. It's a special presentation today. I asked some of my colleagues to come in and talk about one of the greatest events that's going to hit Washington, D.C. with the Full Gospel Baptist Fellowship. 30 years, folks. It's coming to D.C. And what I want to thank God for, Bishop Kelsey. Last time we were together, we were eating at a restaurant. And those ribs look good, Doc. I got to say, I didn't want to eat those ribs until I saw yours. Yeah. I told the Western, whatever he got, give it to me.
You got to be careful with that, Doc.
It was beautiful. Bishop Kelsey, when I see your dedication and faithfulness to the fellowship down through the years, you've been there, Doc, through thick and thin. You've always been faithful. Talk to somebody out there who maybe looking at this broadcast. Tell them how it pays off to be faithful in what you do? Because you just didn't start with the fellowship 2 or 3 years ago. It's 30 years.
Yeah. Well, I believe it comes down to being clear about your convictions and about the call of God. I remember many years ago thinking, now this new thing called full gospel, what? I mean, lots of new things come through town, if you will. And I remember settling in on, this is God for me. This is God for me. And everybody that I talk to about considering full gospel, I wind up landing on, now you pray and ask God, is this God for you and for your ministry? That's what allows me to be faithful. My conviction that I'm in the will of God. I'm crystal clear that I am where I'm supposed to be, doing what I'm supposed to do, and that's why I do it the way I do it. So it's more about the faithfulness of God than it is about my personal, my personal faithfulness. My wife, you may know, Dr. Evans. My wife is Pentecostal by background. I'm traditional, ultra traditional Baptist by background. And so when we got married 42 years ago, our challenge was, how are we going to do this? Baptist, Pentecostal, like for real Baptist, and like shown up Pentecostal, and how are we going to do it? And the Lord led us to one Bishop Paul Sylvester Morton at the time. He was Reverend Morton in New Orleans. And the Lord made it clear, that's me. I'm putting together Baptist and Pentecostal in full gospel. And that's why it's going to work so well for you and your wife. And so when God does it, things
it's him.
come together, things fit, things work. Doesn't mean the full gospel is without its imperfections. I don't know any organization, I don't know any reformation that has no kinks and no disconnects and no gaps and challenges. That is not even the point at all. The point is, it's God for me.
And you can't sum it up no better than that. It's God for me. And just to be faithful over a few things, God will reward you over many, and I watch you down through the years, and I love you so much, being faithful and dedicated. Bishop Twyman, I want to talk about you being with the fellowship, being elevated while you're there. Bishop Gavin, got to give a lot of love out to Bishop Gavin. I know he's watching this, man. Love him. Bishop Twyman, tell everybody about your elevation, St. Stephen's Baptist Church, and when you came into the fellowship and how the Lord blessed and elevated you. What does that mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, when I joined the Full Gospel Baptist Church Fellowship over 20 years ago, it was God for me too. It was a perfect fit, I think, for where I believe the Lord was leading St. Stephen's Baptist Church. St. Stephen's was a traditional church, but they were open to a transition and a God thing. I believed in the gifts of the Spirit. I believed in women preachers. I believed in divine order. And it was just a great fit for me and where I was taken, where I felt the Lord was leading me with the St. Stephen Baptist Church. And I joined as a pastor. I was a pastor and brought the church in. Bishop Kelsey was the state bishop of DC at the time, and he introduced me to Full Gospel. Went to a conference in New Orleans and was thoroughly blessed, impressed, inspired, came back, told the church, this is where I believe the Lord's leading us. Bishop Kelsey came in and really did a teaching on what Full Gospel is all about. And we were in, and we didn't, it wasn't, well, let me just go to another conference first. Let me see one more time and all that. When I heard from God, we went in and filled out the application. It wasn't pastor only stuff. You can join Full Gospel that way, but I knew that it was what the Lord wanted us to do as a church. So joined, went to every conference, never really missed a conference, because I knew that there was always something God wanted to share and tell me. And not just tell me, but I started encouraging some of my members and my leaders to attend the conferences as well. And being a part of Full Gospel, of course, there is an international relationship, there is a regional relationship, and there is a state relationship, and even a district relationship within Full Gospel. And so, again, I was all in. And I think that that's how we ought to be as men and women of God. Either you in or you out. And I was all in. And of course, serving. And Bishop Kelsey obviously saw something in me, and he appointed me as a district overseer. I became a district overseer in Full Gospel. Again, not looking for a title, but just enjoying serving, enjoying being a part of the Full Gospel Baptist Church Fellowship. Was a district overseer for several years for Prince George's County. I covered Prince George's County for several years. Bishop Kelsey was elevated to the executive treasurer position in the Full Gospel Baptist Church Fellowship, and appointed me to be his successor as the state bishop for Washington, D.C. And so I provided leadership as the state bishop for several years. And just in 2019, Bishop Gavin retired as the regional bishop of the Full Gospel Baptist Church Fellowship. And the Bishop Walker and the Bishop's Council, at the recommendation of Bishop Gavin, and of course my spiritual father, Bishop Kelsey, I was appointed to serve as the regional bishop. So it's been one step at a time, not really looking for, not really asking for anything, but just knowing the significance of being a part of the Full Gospel Baptist Church Fellowship, grown so much from being a part of the fellowship, gleaned so much. My church has grown. My church has gleaned so much from Full Gospel, and I believe that it's the Full Gospel Baptist Church Fellowship is a God thing. I believe it. I believe it is God ordained. And I know that St. Stephen's Baptist Church, the church that I've been pastoring for the last 23 years, is stronger and healthier because of my connections, because of my association with the Full Gospel Baptist Church Fellowship. Hands down, I'm completely convinced. And so that's been my Full Gospel journey in a nutshell. Thank you, Dr. Evans.
Bishop Brown, we're coming out of COVID. There's a lot of pastors going through mental health issues. How important it is to have a covering, to have somebody like Bishop Kelsey to talk to when you're going through. After we preach to all of the people and minister to all the people, who ministers to us? Tell us how important it is to have a covering, to not be out there by yourself, to be in a fellowship where you can call Bishop Twyman if you're going through something, or be somewhere and not be alone. Come on, Bishop Brown.
Dr. Evans, that's really an excellent question, even in the season that we're in. When you talk about the pandemic and the effects of the pandemic, even predating it, there's a need for spiritual leaders who lead people to be led and to submit to that leadership. It's odd, it's different, because by naturally we don't pick our parents. We don't do that. The opportunity that we have in praying over a particular person, and being real fair about that, and not looking for, and I may get in trouble here, but not looking for different people to be different things to you at different points, having 2 or 3 spiritual coverings and pastors and all of that. I think that's out there. But I think when you find someone that, number one, that you can submit to, who can speak correction, encouragement, counsel, and celebration, all of those things come in play in having a spiritual covering. And so when you speak of Bishop Kelsey, when you speak of Bishop Twyman, at their level of leadership, having a fellowship that has an opportunity as well, so that you might be, that's what a bishop is. He leads pastors. And so having that type of example at the top is healthy at district level, state level, and regional level. And I just think that that's an excellent question when you talk about mental health and things of that nature. The restoring, the pouring, the revival, the renewal of the mind is essential. And you don't know how profoundly placed that question is in this season.
Wow.
Thank you, Bishop. That's amazing. I've been in ministry for 37 years. Well, longer than that. I've been married 37 years, and I was in ministry before I got married. So I stopped counting, after I got to 36, So Bishop Kelsey, I wanted to say the same thing to you. A lot of pastors are going through mentally, physically, financially, socially, coming out the pandemic, and how important it is to have a covering, somebody to talk to, and not to be isolated all alone and just feel like there's nobody but me in this thing by myself. Bishop Kelsey, come on.
Well, Bishop Twyman often publicly states that every pastor needs a pastor. We haven't always been taught that. Traditionally, we just haven't been taught that, and we haven't seen that modeled. We've seen sonship of the church. We're a son of the church, and much of that is traditional and ceremonial. But functional covering, where somebody is committed to serving you, supporting you, guiding you, holding you accountable. We've not been taught that, and we've not seen that modeled. And for many of us, it's new. Even if we have been doing it for 15 or 20 years, we're the first generation of preachers to do it, many of us. So I'm never not honored to cover the pastors that the Lord has set and sent under my leadership. I'm never get used to it. It's still amazing to me. Yeah. And these bishops here, they have sons and daughters under their leadership, and it's just a cycle it's a shepherding cycle. It's a pastoring cycle that's so different from a posse.
Yeah,
that's so different from an entrepreneurial move.
Yeah.
Very, very, just very, very different. Yeah. And I'm doing it because I've seen it. Bishop Morton showed me how it's done and why it's important. And so I started trying to show others how it's done and why it's important. And praise the Lord, man. Glad about it.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I'm just smiling because I see every time I talk to Bishop Twyman and you come in his presence, it's like a king. He's honoring Bishop Kelsey, submits to Bishop Kelsey with the highest level of respect. And I see that. And Bishop Twyman, is that because that's the person you are, or you grown to be that way, or you always known to be submissive to somebody in higher leadership?
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, the scriptures are clear when it comes to honor. The scriptures are very clear when it comes to the responsibility and humility and submission. And I've learned, of course, just in studying the scriptures, in modeling order, divine order. Honoring Bishop Kelsey doesn't make me smaller. It does not. I know who I am, but I also recognize the people that God put in my life to cover me, to pray for me, to encourage me. And when you look at the scriptures, we have a responsibility to give honor where honor is due. And Bishop Kelsey, I don't have a problem submitting to him because I trust him. I know that he prays for me. And so, absolutely. And I think that the problem is we tell pastors to submit, or we tell our congregations to submit to us, but they never see us submit. And again, I believe that that's another part of the health of St. Stephen's, because they see me submitting. So when I model it, and again, it ain't pretense, it ain't, brown nose, it ain't trying to get a promotion. That's not what this is about. It is authentic discipleship, really. Bishop Kelsey's he's been pastoring almost 40 years. I've been pastoring 23. He's further down the line than I am. So and I call him. There is not a major decision that I've made in my pastorate, and I've only really had two pastors in my life. Pastor Harold E. Trammell, that was my pastor, who licensed me, baptized me, ordained me, installed me at St. Stephen's, went on to be with the Lord. And I grieved for about a year and a half, maybe even 2 years, because I always had a pastor. And even, in pastoring, it's such a blessing to me to have a pastor that I can share things with, that I'm talking about hard truths, the struggles of my own life. And I'll never forget it. Even my divorce, and my ex-wife, I got divorced as a pastor. And that was a very, very rough, challenging time of my life. And Bishop Kelsey was there to provide support, to provide encouragement, not to dictate to me what to do. Pastors don't do that. But just providing wise counsel. And it's always been like that. And so when Pastor Trammell died, the Lord told me that this is your pastor now, Bishop Michael V. Kelsey. And so I have never made a major decision in my ministry without talking to my pastor first. I'm talking about stuff from shifting services and hiring and firing. Are you listening to me? I'm talking about major decisions when it comes to the pastorate, and just counsel, just bouncing it off. We need people to talk to. And I believe that a pastor is a gift, and there's no doubt about it that Bishop Michael V. Kelsey is a gift, not just to the body of Christ and New Samaritan, but to me personally. And so I bless God for that, and I think that and you're right. Every pastor needs a pastor. I know I need a pastor. I know I need one for my own healthy accountability. And so I just wanted to share. Thank you for giving me that opportunity to share.
That's big. You know, that's big for all of the millions of people watching us right now. That this is a pastor, Bishop Twyman, saying, I have a pastor. So everybody watching me right now, if a pastor says, I need a pastor, you need one too. And I want to ask, and I see we have a pop-up guest just popped up in for a minute, Bishop Dwayne Freeman. He's our pop-up guest. He's one of our DMV preachers, Doc. You just popped up in here, Dwayne Freeman, man. Hey, look, you know, you already told me I'm coming to the Full Gospel Fellowship. You told me that earlier today. I said, Doc, you coming with me. We're going to pop there. We're going to ride together. We're going to walk over there together. Look.
I'm trying to figure out how in the world y'all going to have this conference here. And Twyman, he didn't even call me. He didn't call me and tell me nothing about it. I have an art. I know he just started talking about humility. And it's a very humble man to be able to say, I need a pastor too. And awesome as he is, and he said he humbled himself for a pastor, man, but now I got an art against him. He ain't let me know about the thing, man.
Freeman, I'm calling you tomorrow.
You know I called you, Doc.
I had to call the bishop today and say, hey, man, they tell me that y'all coming in town. And he said, yeah, we be in town next week. So I'm gonna be down there. I don't know what day, but I know I'm gonna come down there and be with y'all. I know it's gonna be an awesome time of fellowship, getting in the word, and I want to just be a part of that, man.
Amen. And this is one of the things we said, pastors outside the organization coming, Pastor Dwayne Freeman and Apostle Mike Freeman, we're brothers, man, not just friends, we're brothers. And I asked them to come on tonight. Bishop Kelsey, I want to ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
When you have Bishop Twyman submitting to you, you have members also submitting to you. But this is another man who's a bishop and a pastor. Do you give him that same amount of attention, same amount of respect? If he calls you there, you're there for him?
The only difference in attention that I give the sons and daughters I cover compared to the members of the church, the only difference in attention is that I preach to the members every week. And I don't preach to sons and daughters every week. That is the difference. Outside of that, I am absolutely as available to our sons and daughters. And I have wondered sometimes how my members feel about that. But it is a reality, and they understand that reality. And I suppose, yeah, that's my answer to that question. Unless Bishop Twyman and Bishop Edwin say, Brown says, no, I don't know if that's true, Bishop Kelsey, but I think it's true.
No, you're very balanced, very balanced. I think your answer fits
Absolutely
the question.
We get it once a month. A month, we have a conference call with the sons and daughters that Bishop Kelsey covers. And it's about an hour and a half sometimes, but he's always challenging us, teaching us, giving us additional principles. Again, he way down the line farther along in ministry than I am. But the principles, the challenges that he gives to us as pertains to our pastorate, getting us to think about stuff that we hadn't even really thought about, such as rest. And he did a teaching on conflict resolution one time, really how to deal with challenging leadership in your church. He's given us basic, some powerful nuggets that I've implemented a lot of that stuff at St. Stephen's. And again, it is what it is. And again, I'm not putting him on a pedestal, but I think there's a lost art of honor in our communities anyway. And I think that we need to restore that. And it can be restored, I think, when it does start at the head. And it does trickle down.
Amen.
And Dr. Evans, what I want to say is, well, I think I may be trying to get me off the focus, the focus off of me. But what I want to say, really, everything we're talking about is full gospel. It really is. It's not just isolated in this relationship that I have with these two bishops. It's been cultivated through the culture of full gospel. We see this everywhere in full. This is how we do it. This is how we do it. Doesn't mean that everybody does it, but we have a culture that gets it in terms of order and honor and fellowship and relationship and accountability. And accountability is not a dirty word in full gospel. Amen. It's a biblical principle that'll bless you. Is what I want to say. And let me just say this, and I know we're going to be wrapping up in a minute, but let me just say, what comes to my mind is that full gospel is more than an annual conference. That's the point. Both presiding Bishop Walker and founder Bishop Morton, both of them have impressed that upon each of us, that full gospel is more than an annual conference. Now that's easier said than done in terms of manifesting, but it's constantly promoted that we seek to operate in kingdom balance. Our four pillars of the vision of Bishop Walker is number one, faith; number two, family; number three, fitness; number four, finance. It has to do with kingdom balance. And in terms of this conference coming up, we did not want it to just be a 30-year episode of celebration in DC, because full gospel is more than an annual conference. So we're about global missions as well as home missions. Both are very important. One doesn't get lost in the sauce of the other. So we partner with organizations that help us accomplish that kind of kingdom balance. And we all know, we've done global missions for years. All of us have at some level or another. But we know how easy it is to forget about the brothers and sisters right around the corner from our church, while we seek to reach the brothers and sisters in Liberia. So we partner with an organization called Compassion International. It's an international child discipleship organization. And it's one of the world's largest and fastest growing Christian child development organizations on the planet. And they do some things just amazingly effective. And so Full Gospel discovered that. They discovered Full Gospel and found out that our vision and mission agree in remarkable ways. So we got a strong partnership with them that touches children all around the globe in deep poverty situations, and so we adopt. We call it spiritual adoption. It's not the regular adoption like in America, but spiritual adoption of children that is very, very balanced and very, very biblical, where they Compassion says they're Christ-centered, child-focused, and church-based. There's no other organization that I have discovered that honors the church like Compassion does and doesn't try to take it over and make it American. My wife and I have adopted two spiritual daughters, Giovanna in Ecuador, South America, and Rogate in Togo, West Africa. And we've done it. It's been 6 years now that we've adopted them, and they've just grown and grown and grown. And so Compassion is coming next week to partner to make sure that our global missions outreach continues to be strong and vibrant and relevant, but not only global missions, but home missions. We're having next week what we call an urban service project. And so that means delegates are not just coming from around the country and sing and shout in a hotel and make Gaylord rich. No. We're strategic and intentional about compassion, both, we call it compassion here and there, global and home. And so we're going over to Kimball Elementary School on Minnesota Avenue in Southeast DC, not exactly known as, the Gaylord of DC. And that's why we're going. That's why we're going. Bishop Freeman's laughing. That's why we're going, because we think it's very important. We're bringing 5,000 pounds of food over there because we realize that many of the children are coming to school hungry. Or many of the children are coming to school because that's the only place they can come to get something to eat. We're bringing 200 school uniforms that are just for Kimball Elementary. We're bringing supplies for their STEM program. They tell me it's not STEM anymore. Put an A in there. STEAM.
STEAM.
Yeah, they added arts. All right. And speaking of mental health and emotional health, we're supplying 26 classrooms with what they call calming stations. Just mental health. What's my point? My point is we're much more than an annual conference, but we're seek to be about kingdom balance. And we're excited about it. I hope those of you who are watching, I hope that you will get on over there to the Gaylord and experience this kingdom balance that we're talking about in a marvelous, marvelous way. We'd love to have you.
Wow, that was amazing. When you hear Bishop Kelsey unfolds not just the program or the service at the Full Gospel Baptist Fellowship, because he works behind the scenes and he knows things like that. I never thought that everybody would be going over there. I never thought that we'd be going downtown to the public officials. This is big.
Right.
I serve at different events like the Mental Health of America. I was with them, and also for people who on Capitol Hill for affordable housing. And I know how it is to step out of that arena of the church and go to sit in meetings with people who are building homes and sitting in meetings on Capitol Hill. And I want to applaud you, Bishop Kelsey, for stating that and helping the kids. And Bishop Twyman, you know how it is to feed people, because St. Stephen's every Tuesday, Tuesday, winter, spring, summer, and fall for the last 10 or 15 years, and especially during COVID, have exploded in helping families, which is the largest food distribution in the DMV. Before we close, Bishop Twyman, can you talk a little bit about your beautiful 100 staff out there feeding people from all walks of life? And I often ask you this, and you know I do. I say, is it only for the Baptist folks? Come on.
No, we're excited. Of course, every Tuesday, we're excited about being able to feed literally thousands of families every Tuesday. There's a line on Temple Hill Road that starts around 7 in the morning. People are actually getting in line. So there's a real need. We're excited about the partnerships with the Capital Area Food Bank, Trader Joe's, Target, and Wonder Bread. And we just got a new partner, Aldi's. And every Tuesday, we're feeding it's chicken. Sometimes it's pork chops. It's potatoes, cabbage, eggs, milk, all kinds of staples that families need to really subsidize the community. We're excited about it. The partnerships continue, and there's a real need. If you don't get in line at 7 o'clock in the morning if there's not a real genuine need. So we're averaging somewhere around 3,000 to 4,000 families that we're feeding every Tuesday. And so we've got a great, strong volunteer base. The majority of our members are St. Stephen's, but some are not, that really want to help the community. So we're doing that. I know, Dr. Evans, you've been through, you got some great footage, and everybody has a story. I met one lady. She was 90 years old. And her husband is 92. Was on dialysis, and she was in that line waiting. And we told her, okay, you don't ever have to wait in this line anymore. We've got a seniors pickup on the other side, on the top side for seniors. So they don't have to wait. They can come on the front side of the top side. But again, the stories are amazing, and you just never know what people are going through. And if a person has to make a decision on whether to purchase their medicine or to buy their food, we've given them the blessing of they don't have to make that choice. They can get the food from us and get their medicine and actually pay for their medicine. So again, we're excited about doing. We're going to continue to do it as long as the resources are there, and we know that the need is consistent. Jesus said, "The poor you're gonna have with you always." So we bless God that we're able to serve.
Yeah, I want to come back and we're going to talk about that on the next segment, folks. I've been working with Bishop Twyman and the mobile food distribution for the last 4 years, or longer than that. But there's one family I cannot stop this broadcast and say the lady who was across the street from the church, she was getting food for you. Well, you can tell that story better than I can. Come on, Bishop Twyman.
I'm not sure what story you're talking about.
Yeah, it was a lady who was getting food. She was getting in this line getting food for like 2 years across the street from your church, and finally she came to join
the church.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Yeah. There's a senior that she had been coming, and it was very it was a God thing, because we were baptizing on one Sunday, and she was there. I didn't even know she was there, but I opened it up. She wasn't scheduled to be baptized. I opened it up and I said, anybody that loves God and never been baptized, wants to be baptized, wants to give their life to Jesus Christ, come forward. We had already baptized about 3 or 4 people, and I had opened it up, and she came forward and said, and she told the story of how she had been coming. And she says, I want to be baptized and I want to join St. Stephen's. I believe today is the day that the Lord wants me to join. And she joined, and we baptized her on the spot, so that's the apostolic in me, I guess. we ain't doing no new members classes. Do you believe Jesus Christ is the Son of God? and we put him in the water. And so we did that, and that was a powerful story. She's a wonderful, wonderful woman of God who's still with us.
So we're gonna close out this broadcast. I want all of these pastors and bishops to come on and have their own show on the PIC TV network, because the Gospel Life channel is exploding. I make TV shows, commercials. We have a mini movie, Miracle Tuesday, shot on the premises of the St. Stephen's Baptist Church. If you haven't seen it, you need to go on YouTube and check it out, Miracle Tuesdays, because we see miracles on that lot every Tuesday when those people get food from all walks of life. And I'm talking about people from all races, creeds, colors, background, religions, and a staff of 100 people out there under a tent getting food. It's a beautiful sight. And I want to thank you. Bishop Kelsey, I can't say thank you enough for coming on today on the set. Sure. And you was the first one here, so time management. We started 9 o'clock. Doc, you here 8:30, man. I was like, Bishop is the first one here. So when you have your show on the PIC TV network, your own show, you got to do that. You got to talk about time management. You're a leader, and I love you so much. But when we go to the restaurant again, Man, those ribs you ate, Doc. I mean, man, I was like, I had my chicken, I had all my stuff out there. When I seen yours, I said, wow.
Well, actually, I got word that I would get a chance to meet Bishop Freeman, so that's really why I got so early.
No, I'm sitting here listening to you all, man, and all roads should be leading to the National Harbor next week. I mean, just to listen to the love and the honor that y'all have demonstrated. And it goes up. You're talking about Bishop Walker, Bishop Morton, and it's coming down, and you guys are embracing it. You know, everybody don't embrace that same kind of culture, but you guys have embraced that. And it's amazing. I've been looking at this double honor, and I found out if there's a such thing, a double honor, there's a such thing as a single honor. The single honor is commanded by God for us to honor everybody. But double honor is something that I want to, because I found a leader that knows how to rule well. And now I want to, because you made an impact in my life. And I'm telling you, just sitting here listening to you guys, uplifting and honoring each other, then honoring your leader. I'm definitely going to be there. And everybody that's watching this, I'm telling you, want to be in that kind of culture, that kind of atmosphere. And on top of that, the word of the living God is going to be shared. That's going to change your life. You want to be at that particular meeting on next week. Hey, Bishop, I love you, man. Thank you for all that you're doing. And, man, you're helping Bishop Twyman, man. I tell you, it's just amazing to see how God connects people and cause increase and promotion to come through each other's lives through it. So I'm glad I was on here for the time that I was on here. Thank you, Bishop David.
man, I'm the servant, man. Listen, we're going to let the bishops go, and we're going to do part 2. We're going to come back on after this broadcast. Don't go nowhere. I have a special preacher from California, Bishop Noel Jones, sent another preacher on, and Bishop Clark is down there. We're going to bring him on the second set, and we're going to talk a little bit. So we're going to bring Bishop Mike Freeman on also. And if you want to come back, Bishop, any of the bishops want to come back, you can come back on our segment too, right after we get off of this broadcast. I want to thank Bishop Twyman. Thank you, sir. You're a good man. All roads are going to lead to the Gaylord at National Harbor on the 5th through the 7th for the Full Gospel Baptist Fellowship. This is the great 30th anniversary, folks. We'll never see this again, the 30th anniversary. Bishop Kelsey, can you give the lineup one more time for the people who came in a little late?
All right. The lineup is that Wednesday, the 5th, we start out with Bishop Edwin Brown at 3. What time, Bishop Brown? 6:40? I believe so. At 6:40 p.m. And then our founders, Bishop Carlos Malone, Kenneth Ulmer, Andy Luter, will greet us with the founders experience. Bishop Simon Gordon will start off Wednesday night from Chicago, Illinois, with the preaching of the Word of God. Then on Thursday, we start out with Church Fit. I told you balance is the order of the day at Full Gospel. Church Fit starts early at 6:30 a.m. Not sure if Bishop Edwin Brown will be there, but others will be others will be present. And then we will have a prayer encounter at 9 o'clock, which is so important to our fellowship that we center everything we do around our time with the Lord as we hear from him and he hears from us. And then at 11:30, we will hear Pastor Diamond Gant, who will be the preacher for the gathering at 11:30, followed by the Founding Fathers moment. Again, Bishop A.R. Williams, Larry Trotter, J.D. Wiley, and our co-founder, leading us into the night gathering with Bishop Paul S. Morton. Founders Night, Thursday night, Bishop Morton will be preaching. And then Friday, we will have what's called Live Full X, or Live Full X rather, at 10 a.m. with Bishop T.D. Jakes. He will be talking about mastering the intersections of ministry and marketplace. So very, very important. The gathering at 11:30 with Bishop Walter Scott Thomas, bringing the Word of God. We will have Pastor Benjamin Haley bringing the voices from the region at 11:40. And then we have what's called emerging churches. Those are the smaller churches. Back to this issue of honor. We honor pastors of every size church, so much so until we have a emerging churches luncheon set aside just to honor the pastors of what we call emerging churches at 1:30. But also the Caravan of Justice you heard me speak of, moving out from Mount Enon Baptist Church on to Capitol Hill with our political agenda of full gospel. Never have happened before. Founding Fathers moment again, Bishop Greg Davis and Kenneth Robinson, leading us into Bishop Joseph Walker's night. He'll be preaching at 7 o'clock for presiding bishop's night, and we will wrap up with that service. Matter of fact, there is a signature event late that night. You know, people got to hang out at the end, 10:30 p.m. With the worship service, Grammy, Dove, and Stella nominated and award-winning artist Vashawn Mitchell. Man, that thing is packed. You won't, no matter what time you come, what day you come, it's going to be something wonderful for each of you. By the way, bring your young people, children and youth. There's something incredibly crazy planned for the children and youth every single day. You'd be amazed at how children come back saved and spirit-filled from being a part of the full gospel experience. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. This is it. We're going to play this all week on repeat on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitch, Twitter, all social media platforms all week long. So you want to take the link, send it to everybody, let everybody see this. Let's pack out the Gaylord Hotel, folks. Let's go over there and bring everybody. Let's have a good time. The food is going to be great. The fellowship is going to be great. You're in a 5-star location. Hang out, meet the bishop, tell them how much you're in love, and enjoy them on this PIC TV Network special broadcast. We're going to come back on part 2, folks. Don't go anywhere. Thank you for your time. God bless.
Everybody, this is Marty Mangello at the United States Presidential Service Center, coming to you from having served 6 presidents now, and Dr. David Evans is doing a fantastic job with the PIC TV network. Be sure to check out all the offerings on PIC TV. Go crazy, you know, hit up about 10, 20, 30, 40 channels. The more support, the more watching, the more it grows, the better it does, and it is doing good, isn't it? It's a great thing that we all need more of in this world. Thank you so much, and don't forget, think PIC TV.
Hey, everybody, you made it to the end of another broadcast. Don't forget, the Full Gospel Baptist Fellowship is coming your way. That's right. Washington, D.C. is proud to embrace the Full Gospel Baptist Fellowship at the Gaylord Hotel. It is the 30th anniversary, folks. July the 5th through the 7th. You don't want to miss it. You just heard from Bishop Lanier Twyman. Is working hard behind the scenes. Bishop Kelsey is working hard behind the scenes. Bishop Brown been working hard behind the scenes to make everybody feel welcome in the DMV. We cannot wait to see Bishop Walker and also Bishop Morton, all of the bishops and all of the elders and all of this constituents and people coming from all over the world to this conference. It's major for the DMV, and I can't wait. I'm going to be there every service. I want to thank everybody for watching this broadcast. Please push it out. PIC TV Network, proud to bring you this presentation today, and we support the Full Gospel Baptist Fellowship. I'll see you at the Gaylord Hotel. Thanks for your time.
They say your eyes are the windows to the soul. They're also the windows to your health because they let eye doctors see what's going on inside. Think about this. A comprehensive eye exam can be an early detector of serious health problems like high blood pressure, heart disease, stroke, and diabetes. Shouldn't you see your eye doctor yearly? Go to thinkaboutyoureyes.com to learn more and for a list of local eye doctors.